Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. And you are watching TV. And in these upcoming episodes, we're going to break down Super Bowl 46 from top to bottom. We're going to break down the offenses. We're going to break down the defenses. We're going to break down the receivers, the running backs, the quarterbacks. I want wall-to-wall Super Bowl action. But first off, let's start it off and talk about the two teams that will be taking place in Super Bowl 46. First up, we have the New York Giants coming in at 9-7, a team in which, after losing 5 games in the middle of the season, suffering so many IR injuries in terms of players gone for the season early on, throughout the season, so many injuries, and at certain points, not even looking at a team that's playoff worthy, has found themselves in the Super Bowl, getting hot at the right time, winning so many games at the end of the season just to qualify for the playoffs, and have made their way once again to the Super Bowl. And once again, who will they meet? The team that they got their first Super Bowl title with, I should say their third Super Bowl title with, in the New England Patriots, led by Tom Brady, one of the best quarterbacks in the league, having another great season. This year, passing for over 5,000 yards and the second highest total to Drew Brees of this season. I mean, this defense isn't your typical classic Bill Belichick defense. I mean, it's not even good. It's really lower, one of the worst defenses in the league. But when you have Tom Brady as your quarterback, two dynamic tight ends at Ron Gronkowski and Aaron Hernandez, the tight ends, and you have Wes Welker and Deion Branch as your wide receivers. I mean, you're doing something kind of good with that type of talent on offense. On the other side of the ball, though, the New York Giants, they're bringing in a very dynamic defensive line, in which, if you want to talk about pass pressure, they can give you Justin Tuck, Jason Pierre-Paul, Osi Umenyiora, and Matthias Kiwanuka, all as 4 down linemen on rush downs. I mean, that's a very tall task for the New England Patriots to be able to block all those guys. And they're all defensive ends, so if one of them gets one-on-one coverage, you know that that's going to be an issue for Tom Brady because he wants to sit back there, get on his launch point, and release the ball. But, I mean, there are a lot of subplots. There are a lot of stories. I mean, we could talk about the New England Patriots owner's wife. She passed away right before the season started, and the Patriots dedicating this season to her. We could talk about rookie middle linebacker Mark Herzlich, who was told when he was in college he acquired a form of cancer in which they thought, let alone play football, he might not ever be able to walk again. And here he is having the opportunity to play in the Super Bowl. You have a quarterback, Eli Manning, who at the beginning of the season said he's in the same class as Tom Brady in terms of elite status. Everyone laughed at him, but let me tell you something. You can't spell elite without Eli. You have Tom Brady, who last year people began to think, is he really slipping? I mean, is he really as good as we think we are? And he comes back this year with a 5,200-yard season and 39 touchdowns. You have a team in the Giants, who at the beginning of the season, nobody really thought that they would be where they are offensively with the loss of Steve Smith going to the rival Philadelphia Eagles. But that making up weight and space for Victor Cruz to come in and basically salsa his way not only into all-pro status, but making a giant record with over 1,500 receiving yards in one single season. And then you have Hakeem Nicks. Nobody thought that replacing Plaxico Burress would happen this quickly. Hakeem Nicks has been able to do that. And also offensively, you have Super Mario Manningham, who's been disgruntled, who's been on the bench, who's been caught, how should I say, in the pecking order shuffle. But this year has managed to have a good season. And you have Jake Ballard, a tight end who nobody knew of at the beginning of the season, but has led the way for the Giants in terms of replacing Kevin Boss at tight end. But then we talk about the run game. You have, obviously, Ahmad Bradshaw and Brandon Jacobs. One of them starting doesn't really get the job done, but both of them playing provide to be a really effective 1-2 punch. But then when you look at the Patriots, they bring so many different twists, so many different turns, so many different personnel packages. I mean, in certain instances throughout the playoffs this year, you had Aaron Hernandez, who's the starting tight end, playing running back. And not playing it in terms of a receiver, but actually running the ball for yards. I mean, there's so many things that we're going to get into throughout this week to really break down the Super Bowl. But I hope you stick along, you enjoy the upcoming episodes, leave some comments, and if you have any questions about things that you want to talk about or I haven't brought up yet, please let me know. This is TV. It's not for me, It's for us. You know what you're watching. Have a good one, everybody.